Welcome back, everyone, to another video. Today, what I have here is not a pleasant sight. As you can see, this is what I like to call an orchid graveyard, a quiet resting place for plants that once stood tall and beautiful, but over time, slowly lost their strength. All around me are wilted leaves, dried roots, and empty pots, signs of orchids that couldn't make it through the harsh cycles of neglect, overwatering, or sometimes just time itself. It's always a little sad to see these plants, once full of life, now only remain as memories of their last blooms. But while I was cleaning and sorting through this garden of lost orchids, I noticed something, a small survivor. Hidden between the faded moss and brittle bark, there was one orchid still holding on. Its leaves soft but not yet gone, its roots dry but still carrying that faint green hue that says, "I'm still here." Moments like these remind me why I love caring for orchids. They may look fragile, but deep down, they're some of the most resilient plants you'll ever meet. Even when everything around them fades away, there's always a chance, a spark of life that refuses to give up. And like I've said in many of my videos, orchids have this incredible will to recover if we just give them the right conditions. So let's waste no time. Let's roll up our sleeves, take a closer look at this little fighter, and begin the process of bringing it back to health. We'll begin by placing the orchid into a basin filled with clean water. Make sure there's enough to fully submerge the plant. If the water level is too low, just pour in a bit more until the entire root system is underwater. What we want here is a deep soak, a chance for the roots to slowly take in moisture after being dry for so long. Sometimes the orchid might try to float to the surface. If that happens, don't worry. Just use a light object, maybe a small stone, or even a clean cup, to gently hold it down. We're not forcing it, just keeping it comfortably underwater so it can relax and rehydrate. This step is really important. The plant has probably gone through weeks of dehydration, so letting it soak helps loosen up the dry roots and soften the bark that might still be clinging around them. Now, let's move on to making our revival solution. We'll start with something simple but powerful: honey. Honey isn't just sweet. It's one of nature's most effective natural healing agents. It contains enzymes and trace minerals that can help prevent harmful bacteria from growing around the roots. And at the same time, it gives the plant a tiny bit of natural sugar for energy, helping it recover from stress. Start by adding about 1 teaspoon of honey into a clean container. Make sure the container is large enough to hold a good amount of water later on. If your honey has thickened up a bit, you can let it sit in warm water for a few minutes to soften it. This helps it dissolve more easily. Next, fill the container with clean water, ideally room temperature or slightly warm. Orchids are sensitive, so we don't want anything too hot or too cold. Pour slowly, letting the honey swirl and mix with the water. As it blends, you'll notice the water taking on a slightly golden hue. That's exactly what we want. Give the mixture a gentle stir. Use a clean spoon or stick to make sure the honey fully dissolves. Now on to our next ingredient. For this part, we're going to be using something a little special: lotus leaf. Lotus leaves have long been known for their gentle healing properties. They're rich in natural compounds that can help purify water and even support root recovery in weakened plants. Go ahead and take a fresh lotus leaf. Make sure it's clean and free from any dirt or damage. If you just picked it from your garden or pond, give it a quick rinse under running water to remove any dust or small insects. Once it's clean, place on a cutting board and start cutting it into small pieces, about the size of your thumb or smaller. This helps release more of its natural nutrients into the water later. As you cut, you'll notice that familiar, calming fragrance, a gentle, earthy scent that always reminds me of a quiet garden after the rain. It's a small detail, but moments like this make the process of caring for orchids feel peaceful and grounding. Once you're done cutting, place all the lotus leaf pieces into a blender. This will help us break them down and release every bit of their natural nutrients. After that, fill the blender with clean water, just enough to cover all the pieces completely. We're aiming for a smooth, balanced mixture, not too thick or too watery. Now, blend it for about 1 to 3 minutes. Start on a lower speed to let the blades catch all the pieces, then slowly increase to a medium setting. You'll notice the color changing as the leaves begin to break apart, turning the water into a soft green shade. Next, grab yourself a fine strainer. We're going to filter out all the solid bits, the fibers and particles that couldn't be fully broken down in the blender. Pour the mixture in slowly. Let gravity do most of the work so we don't lose any of the valuable liquid. You'll see the bright green solution starting to drip through, clear and vibrant. Then the last ingredient we'll be adding into our lotus solution is vitamin B1. This is one of the best boosters you can give to an orchid that's recovering from stress or root damage. Vitamin B1 helps promote new root growth and strengthens the plant's natural ability to absorb nutrients. Exactly what our little orchid needs right now. Go ahead and drop in 3 tablets directly into the solution. Give a mixture a gentle stir. Don't rush it. Just move the spoon or stick in slow circles until the tablets fully dissolve. Now let's move back to our orchid. By now, it should be done with its clean bath. Go ahead and gently lift the plant out of the basin. Take a moment to look at it. You'll notice the roots look a little fuller and softer than before. That's a good sign. It means the orchid has taken in some much-needed moisture. Hold the plant over the basin or sink for a while. Let all the excess water drip out completely. We don't want it to stay too wet, because even a little extra water trapped in the crown or between the leaves can cause rot later on. You can lightly shake it or pat the roots with a clean tissue to help remove the remaining drops. This step might seem small, but it's very important. After soaking, orchids need a bit of airtime before moving on to the next stage. Because the substrates for this orchid are old and have pretty much lost all their nutrient properties, go ahead and remove them from the plant. Over time, materials like bark, moss, or cocoa chips start to break down. They compact, lose air circulation, and stop providing the nutrients and drainage that healthy roots need. Start gently. Use your fingers to loosen the substrate around the roots. Don't pull too hard, just work slowly and patiently. You'll notice some pieces might still cling to the roots. If they don't come off easily, soak the orchid in clean water for a few more minutes to soften them before trying again. As you clean, take a close look at the roots themselves. Healthy ones should appear firm and light green or silver, while any mushy, brown, or hollow ones are signs of decay. Removing the old substrate helps us clearly see what we're working with and gives the plant a fresh start. Once you've carefully removed everything, discard the old material. Never reuse it, since it may contain bacteria or fungus that can harm the plant later. What we want now is a clean, bare root orchid ready for the next stage of recovery. Then use a clean pair of scissors or pruning shears. We're going to carefully trim away any parts of the roots that can no longer provide nutrients for the plant. These are usually the roots that feel soft, mushy, or hollow to the touch. When you squeeze them gently, they may even collapse or release a bit of liquid, clear signs that they've already rotted. Always make sure your tools are disinfected before you begin. You can wipe them with alcohol or rinse them in boiling water for a few seconds. This step helps prevent spreading bacteria or fungus to the healthy parts of the orchid. As you trim, work slowly and patiently. Focus on removing only the clearly dead sections. Healthy roots will look firm, solid, and usually have a silver or light green sheen when dry. Keep those intact, since they'll continue to absorb water and nutrients later on. It's normal if, after trimming, your orchid looks a little bare. What matters is that the roots left behind are alive and ready to grow. Remember, cutting away the bad parts is like giving the plant a clean slate. It allows new, healthy roots to form in their place. Next, we're going to give the orchid a nice, clean wash. Use a gentle water spray to rinse off any remaining debris or dust from the plant. This helps remove bits of old substrate, dried roots, or leftover dirt that might still be clinging to the base. Make sure the water pressure isn't too strong. Orchids have delicate roots, and a harsh spray can easily damage them. A soft mist or light shower setting is perfect. Think of it more like giving the plant a refreshing rain bath rather than a full rinse. Move the orchid around as you wash. Rotate it gently so that every side gets cleaned. Pay close attention to the crown and leaf joints. Small particles often get trapped there, and if left alone, they can hold moisture that leads to rot later on. As you spray, you might start to notice the roots looking brighter and more vivid in color. That's a good sign. Healthy roots will turn a nice green when hydrated, while the unhealthy ones will stay dark or brown. Now let's move back to our solution. By this point, everything should be nicely prepared and ready to combine. Take the honey mixture we made earlier and slowly pour it directly into the bowl with the vitamin B1 and lotus leaf solution. Once the honey solution is in, give a mixture a soft, slow stir. Don't rush it. Just move your spoon or stick in gentle circles. You'll notice the color changing slightly, turning into a pale, golden green shade. It's time for us to apply the solution to the orchid. This step is where all that preparation truly comes together. Start by taking a clean tissue or soft cloth. Dip it gently into the solution and make sure it's fully soaked before use. You don't want it dripping, but just enough that it glides smoothly across the surface. Begin by wiping the leaves first. Move slowly and carefully, following the natural curve of each leaf. This helps remove dust, bacteria, and any leftover residue that may be blocking the leaf's pores. Remember, orchids breathe through their leaves. Keeping them clean ensures they can absorb moisture and nutrients more effectively. After that, move down to the stem and the base of the plant, giving it the same gentle care. Don't rush. Think of it like giving your orchid a slow, relaxing massage. You can even wipe over the exposed roots lightly, just to let them absorb a little bit of that nutrient-rich solution. While doing this, you might notice the leaves gaining a slight sheen. That's a good sign. It means the honey and lotus compounds are coating the surface, providing hydration and protection from dryness. Continue this process for every leaf and every side of the plant. We want to make sure no area is left untouched. Once you finish, pour the solution into a clean container. Make sure it's large enough to comfortably fit the orchid's roots without bending or crowding them. Slowly lower the plant in. And as you do, make sure that only the roots are submerged under the solution, not the leaves or stem. Orchids are very sensitive, so we only want the roots to soak up those nutrients. If some roots are floating up, don't worry. You can gently press them down with a small clean object or your fingers to make sure they're fully dipped in. The goal here is to let the roots drink, to rehydrate and absorb all the vitamins and natural compound from the honey, lotus, and B1 mixture. Now, we're going to let it sit for about 30 minutes. This soaking process will help replenish moisture inside the plant cells and start healing the damage caused by dehydration or stress. After 30 minutes, you can already see some slight changes to the plant. The roots may look brighter and greener, showing signs that they've started absorbing the nutrients from our solution. The leaves, though still soft, might appear a little more filled, as if they're slowly regaining their strength. Look closely and you'll notice those tiny wrinkles on the leaves beginning to relax. It's a small but hopeful sign that the orchid is rehydrating from within. The plant may even feel a bit firmer to the touch compared to before. That's the first sign of recovery, proof that the roots are working again. Orchids may not show drastic changes right away, but these little improvements are what we want to see. Each bubble, each color shift, means the plant is slowly waking up. It's like giving it a breath of life after a long sleep. Now it's time for our signature thing on this channel, applying cinnamon powder to the trimmed areas. You've probably seen me do this many times before, and there's a good reason why. Cinnamon works like a natural antiseptic for orchids. It helps protect the wounds from bacteria, fungus, and rot while encouraging faster healing. Take a small, clean brush, or even just the tip of your finger. Dip it lightly into the cinnamon powder and gently tap or brush it onto every cut or trimmed section of the roots. Make sure you cover the exposed areas evenly, but not too thick. A light dusting is all it needs. As you apply it, you'll notice the powder clings right to the moist tissue, sealing it almost instantly. This will keep the plant safe while it recovers and prevent any unwanted infection from spreading. It's a simple trick, but one that makes a big difference, especially when reviving orchids that have gone through heavy trimming. Now let's move our orchid into its new home. This is one of my favorite parts because it's where the revival truly begins. Start by preparing a pot with clear drainage holes. Drainage is so important for orchids since they don't like sitting in water for too long. A clear pot also helps you monitor the root health over time, letting you see when it's time to water again. Next, slowly fill the pot with pine bark until it reaches about the middle. This will form the base layer for your orchid's roots to rest on. You can lightly tap the pot as you go. It helps the bark settle naturally without pressing it down too tight. Then, position the orchid carefully in the center. Make sure it sits upright and the roots are spread evenly. You don't want them all bunched up on one side. Let them breathe. Adjust the height so that the base of the leaves sits just above the rim of the pot. This prevents moisture from building up around the crown. Once the orchid feels stable, begin filling in the rest of the pine bark. Add it a handful at a time, gently shaking the pot or tapping the sides to let the bark fall into the gaps between the roots. Take your time here. The goal is to make the orchid feel snug and supported, not cramped. Now, because the orchid at this stage is still very weak, we're going to need a little extra support to help it stand properly. A young or recovering orchid often can't hold its own weight, so giving it a support base will make a big difference in helping it grow straight and steady. Grab yourself a metal stake, or if you don't have one, a clean bamboo stick will work just as well. Carefully plant it into the pot. Try to push it down close to the center, but make sure you don't pierce or damage any of the roots while doing so. Move slowly, and if you feel resistance, pull back slightly and adjust the angle. Once the stake is secure, take a soft clamp or a plant clip and gently attach one of the orchid's leaves or the lower part of its stem to the stake. Be very gentle here. Will not try to squeeze or tighten it too much, just enough so the orchid can stand upright without bending or falling over. You can adjust the position a little if needed, making sure the orchid looks balanced and supported from all sides. This step will help the plant focus its energy on healing and growing new roots rather than trying to hold itself up. Then finally, cover the top layer with moss. This will help keep the moisture around the roots just right. You don't want to press the moss down too tightly. Keep it light and fluffy so that air can still flow through. The moss acts like a natural blanket. It holds in humidity while still letting the roots breathe, creating a comfortable environment for your recovering orchid. Now, from this point on, routine care becomes very important. Your orchid is still in recovery, so consistency is the key to helping it get stronger day by day. Check the moss and bark regularly. If they feel dry to the touch, that's your sign to water. But don't overdo it. Orchids prefer a careful balance, staying slightly damp but never soaked. You can continue using the same natural solution we made earlier. Lightly wipe the leaves once every week to keep them clean and nourished. Every 2 weeks, give the roots a gentle soak using the same mix to encourage new growth. Also, make sure your orchid is placed in a bright spot with indirect sunlight. Too much direct heat can damage those fragile new roots. Keep the air moving and avoid stagnant corners where humidity can build up too high. after 3 weeks, you can really see just how much the plant has grown. When we first started, this orchid looked completely lifeless. The leaves were limp, the roots were dry, and it barely had the strength to stand. But now look at it. From what seemed like an orchid at its final stage, it has turned into a living example of resilience. If you look closely at the roots, you'll notice those fresh green tips pushing out. That's new life forming, showing the plant is actively drinking water and absorbing nutrients again. Some of the older roots may still look rough, but don't worry. They're acting as anchors, helping the orchid stay stable while the new roots develop. The leaves have changed too. They're firmer now, smoother to the touch, and they carry a gentle sheen that tells us the plant is finally hydrated. You might even notice a soft glow in the center of the crown, a sign that new leaves are preparing to emerge. It's always amazing how orchids can look completely gone one moment, and then, with just the right care, begin to revive piece by piece. You can also see a subtle change in color. The once dull green has become richer and deeper. The orchid looks confident again, like it's finally breathing after a long rest. This is what patience and consistency can do. Even the smallest routine, when done with care, brings results. It's moments like these that remind me why I love working with orchids. They teach us that no matter how fragile something may look, it can still bounce back stronger than before. And that's the beauty of it. Every revived plant is a small story of hope. And there you have it. Another orchid saved, another life brought back from the edge. What started as a dying plant is now standing strong again. Proof that with the right care, patience, and a bit of love, any orchid can recover. If you've been following along this far, thank you. I truly hope this video helps you bring your own orchids back to life too. Remember, it's not just about watering or repotting. It's about consistency, observation, and the joy of watching something heal and grow right in front of you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. It really helps the channel grow. And if you're new here, consider subscribing so you won't miss future tutorials and care guides like this one. You can also share this video with friends who love orchids, or maybe someone who has a struggling plant and needs a little hope. Together, we can help more orchids and more people find their second chance at life. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of your plants, and I'll see you in the next video.